All right, now to football. We've got dueling quotes. One we have the audio of, the other we got to read it to you in our best Nick Saban voice. But yeah, exactly. Doesn't he say that a lot?
It's like his
Yeah. It's like Dan Lanning is always saying right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he?
We all have.
Yeah, he says right.
Yeah, we have little ticks.
Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't he say right all the time, or is that the word he says?
That's right. That's right.
Right. Yeah, right. So we'll read you Nick Saban's quotes on why he left.
There was a big piece in ESPN today.
Yeah, it was good.
I hope we elect to kick ass is what I hope we do.
I thought the more interesting stuff was Greg Byrne kind of documenting how it all went down.
Yeah.
From Saban to DeBoer.
It was like Saban to DeBoer in 49 hours.
Yep. But first, Chip Kelly. We have the audio of this. Now, Chip is at Ohio State.
This is the weirdest. Of all the developments of college football, and there's just so many of them, the strangest one is Chip Kelly leaving UCLA's head coaching job, and what was it, like $12 million on the table or whatever it was to go be Ohio State's offensive coordinator.
What's he making at Ohio State? Do we know?
I don't, but probably somewhere million and a half, something like that.
Well, Chip finally spoke to the media about why he made the move, and here's what he said.
I do a lot of things other people don't do, so I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I think it started when we were preparing for our bowl game. Ryan Gunderson, who's a great quarterback coach, left to go to Oregon State as the coordinator, so he wasn't there. So I actually coached the quarterbacks during the bowl game, and I just started to think, like, I hadn't actually coached a position since 2008. And then I think my wife remarked, she's like, I haven't seen you this happy in a long time. And to me, the best part of football is football. And so you got to do football and not do some of the things that involve with the head coaching deal. And I had a chance after we beat Boise in the bowl game, and as we started recruiting, just to kind of think about what that experience was like. And then I get to make the decision on what my future is going to be. And so what do I want to do? So I started to look into, is there an opportunity, and it would have been the right spot to go somewhere and just coach a position again and be back with that group. Because I think as a head coach, you sit in on position meetings, but then you're always getting pulled out. And there's other things that are involved with being a head coach. And I think it's more of a CEO operation right now. It's the job and the landscape, as we all know, of college football has changed. So I just thought at the time that, there's a story about John Lennon when he was a little kid that had an assignment of what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said, I want to be happy. And then his teacher said, I don't think you understand the assignment. And his mom said, I don't think you understand life. So I just want to be happy. And I'm really happy coaching a position, really happy to be at this place. It would have taken a special place for me to leave UCLA because I love those players and I love that coaching staff. But to be here with Ryan, I had a great relationship. I've known Ryan since he was a little kid. So I think a lot of things just fell into place that way.
How about that?
I believe 90% of what he said there, but you can't say that it took a special place when you literally interviewed at every single place that had an offensive coordinator opening.
Unless you consider anywhere not Westwood to be special. You and I talked about this a little bit before the show. I do think he sounds really genuine there, but saying it would have taken a special place, okay.
I mean, I don't dismiss the fact that he's made a bunch of money. He hates recruiting. And by the way, you got to read between the lines. He hates the responsibility of being a head coach.
He said as much.
Yeah, we know that.
Yes.
I mean, he said everything that we've always known about him. So in that way, he was being very honest. I think there was one line in there, and I jotted it on my notepad here, that he glossed right over that I think says everything about where he's coming from. He said, I get to make the decision on my future.
Yeah.
That he glossed right over it, but I believe what he was saying there is, I wasn't long for UCLA because of, I don't really like being a head coach. And, oh, by the way, I'm guessing, and he couldn't say this, but I'm guessing he did not have a very good relationship with them, and they were going to fire him anyway.
They almost fired his ass, was it a year and a half, 2 years ago?
So he went out saying, and he realized, I believe him when he says Gunderson left, he goes and works with the quarterback. He's like, football's football.
Hey.
The best part about football
is football.
And
he doesn't need the money.
And I believe him that made him realize, like, dude, what am I doing? I don't need, I may be out of here in a year anyway, and I'm not going to let them dictate that. I'm going to dictate that, and so I'm going to go look for another job, which leads to your point of that's why he interviewed all over the place. So I feel like he was just taking matters into his own hands, And I do believe him when he says, look, I just want to be happy. And that's what makes him happy. And so that's the type of job that he sought. Honestly, that's refreshing to me that a man in this business says that and actually puts his money where his mouth is, and he does that, and he leaves all that money on the table.
Well, we have learned a couple things today, boys. We've learned that Chip wants to be happy, and more importantly, once again, we have learned that football is football.
Football's football.
Yeah, I thought, Isaac, you were going to say that the one sentence that he kind of glossed over, but we needed to look at was the football is football.
Football is football. Football is football.
Football's football.
Football is football.
Football's football.
It's universal at this point.
Football's football.
Who has not said that?
We all know that football is football.
And there's Chip saying it.
There's Chip.
Football's football.
Football's football.
The best part is
And then
Chip,
there's you and him saying it.
yeah.
Football is football.
I'm going to have to go back and look. I think he did a triple football is football is football.
I think you're right. I think
I'm
the
gonna go
best
grab
part
it.
about football is football, and that's the greatest thing about football.
Football's football. Football is football.
Football is football.
We love football. Well, anyway, I think he's great.
Good-
and I
good
think
for
he's,
him.
And it does seem like he's at a good place in his life where he doesn't, he's over being a head coach. He's just over it.
Yeah. If he's ever a head coach again, it'll be at some small. He'll go back to
He'll go to New
He'll go to
Hampshire.
New Hampshire or something. But he's
Shut up.
he's done. He just was never meant to be a college coach, and it's a shame because he was a really good one. But especially in today's world, in order to be successful, the main component is the thing that he hates more than anything else. So he just can't do it. He can't, and I don't think he will again. And how old is Chip's? Got to be in his 60s now, right?
I don't think
He
he's
just
that
turned
old.
60.
Just turned 60.
He's 60?
Yeah, he's been around a while, man. My guess is that you will never see him be a head coach again at a major institution,
And that's the way he wants
that's
it.
the way he wants it.
Smart man.
Yeah,
Quite
I'm sure that
frankly.
John Lennon quote is absolute horse crap, but it's a fun anecdote. And,
What do you mean?
well,
you don't think it really...
No, I don't think it happened. This is like every time you're on Instagram or whatever, someone's like, my little boy today said the most amazing thing. And he's like, no, he didn't, Susan. You made that up. So John Lennon, when he was 6, did not go to his teacher and say happy, and then his mom responded with that clever quip. It's a nice anecdote.
That's what he said it happened.
It's a nice little
That's a quote from John Lennon.
it's a wonderful little story.
So you're saying John Lennon is a liar? Is that what you're saying?
You ever go to church and you sit in church and they always tell you some story and it's always the most vague details. No one is and it's always some super dramatic thing about a mother and a son, but there's never any detail to it. It's a parable.
No.
It's
I don't
just
know what you're talking about.
It's just a story.
That's exactly why I don't go to church.
It's just a story.
It's all bullshit.
That's what this was. It was.
You are
fun
calling
little-
John Lennon a liar. Here is the quote.
Yeah.
When I was 5 years old, my mother always told me that happiness was the key to life.
Sure.
When I went to school, they asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I wrote down happy. They told me I didn't understand the assignment, and I told them they didn't understand life.
John Lennon did that at 5 years old.
That's right.
Let me just say for the record, that didn't happen.
Oh, that happened.
And he remembers that from when he was 5 years old because we all
yeah.
remember so many things at 5.
When I was in 4th grade, we were asked what we wanted to be when we grow up, and I thought it was a little weird that a kid wanted to be a kitty cat for 4th grade. I still remember that to this day.
All right.
Seems a little old for that.
Thanks for that.
I think when I was like 5, I think I peed my pants and was happy that I wore black jeans.
Nice.
And thought that if I just kept it quiet long enough, maybe I could sneak away to the bus. I think that was my big concern when I was 5.
All right, now to Nick Saban and what he had to say about why he left. That story on ESPN.com today.
Did he leave because football's football?
It is, well, yeah.
I mean, duh.
I don't think we have Saban saying it.
Actually, I think he might be leaving because football's not football.
Athletics is athletics.
Football is no longer football.
Football's football.
Football's football.
Football's football.
God, that was all on our show,
I love it.
I think.
We need to get Dan Landon to drop a football is football.
Hasn't he?
I don't know, but if he does, I'm telling you right now, next year it is going to be my goal to lure him into a football is football.
Can you get us the latest Chip Kelly football is football? We can add it to the...
It's in the works.
Definitely feel
Love
like
that.
that needs to be